What is up, YouTube? It's me, Positively Udo, and this is a video about somebody I consider my YouTube friend, Chris from The Rewired Soul, and I feel compelled to make a video because I feel like my perspective might give some people some insight and some closure and some reassurance or something. So this is not going to be an edited video, and I'm just going to talk about my 2 cents on this drama that's going on around him as somebody who feels connected to him. So he and I, we never met in person. We almost met in person, but he and I found out about each other. Hey, kitty. We found out about each other about a year ago. He had 2,000 subscribers. I had 2,000 subscribers. This is a year ago, okay? And we found each other through a controversy in the mental health online community. And this is the reason that Chris is getting hated on right now is probably the reason that he and I like each other. We just have this need, this drive to give our opinions and share things like as we see them from a logical standpoint, because we just see so many people talking about a topic from what we see as an illogical standpoint, and that just irks us in the world, and we just want to have our 2 cents out there so that we know that we did our part to bring some logic to an important topic. And so he had a video that was like making people mad, like they're saying, you don't have that mental illness. How can you say that about XYZ? And I made a video with a lot of the same points that he made. And so he was like, oh my gosh. And I actually have the mental health issue. So he's like, whoa, like somebody in that community who gets it. And I'm like, oh, cool. So we just kind of been watching each other. And I forgot what made us connect again. But I was just really digging his videos. And this was before he was doing the YouTube drama stuff. And I was like, hey, man, you're like the only YouTube friend I've ever had that is taking YouTube seriously. Like, this is awesome. Like, what are you doing? Like, who are you learning from? And he introduced me to Roberto Blake and Roberto's community. Roberto, if you don't know about him, he makes videos on how to build a business on YouTube, and he makes great content. He's somebody good to follow if you're wanting an online, whether it's on YouTube or not. He likes talking about online business in general, which is really cool. And so I was just watching Chris grow. And at the time, I had more time to commit to this YouTube, so I was also growing. But I was just watching Chris grow, and then I saw Chris really hit on this niche of talking about sensational news and how it relates to mental health. He would talk about like Netflix shows and crazy news things and stuff in YouTube. And he noticed that when he talked about stuff on YouTube, he was getting more views. And so he just kept posting that YouTube stuff. And I'm just like, keep doing that. And Roberto, you know, his sensei is like, dude, keep doing it. You're on the right track. And so he figured out how this niche that's typically really boring, right? Like people search for mental health, but it's not like getting a lot of traffic like that, okay? He found a way to turn something that before would only get him 100 views. He found a way to turn it into something that will get him 100,000 views in a week. And that is by catching your attention with something that you want, which you tend to like junk, okay? Like, people tend to like junk. Why do people watch Desperate Housemen or whatever? Why do people watch Real Housewives of Atlanta? People like junk. And people on YouTube like YouTube junk. So he attracts you in with the YouTube junk. And if you're the right kind of person, you stay because you like the message. if you're the wrong kind of person, you leave because you're like, this is not what I signed up for. I just wanted to hear the tea and I don't need to do lecturing me, right? So obviously his channel is not for everybody. And if you just don't care about that content, that's awesome. If he just annoys you, you don't like his face, you don't like his voice, that's awesome. But what doesn't make sense is to attack him for the type of content he's making, because he really is helping people. He's helping people to connect the dots of what's happening in their life, and he's giving people tough love. And look, this is the reality of what's going on in your life, because again, we're the kind of people that if something just doesn't make sense and we see like people are just hopping on the bandwagon of it, we're gonna say, hey guys, you see how this is a little bit illogical? Make sense? We're just that kind of people. And people like us tend to rub people the wrong way. And so ever since the day I met Chris, he is somebody that I knew would have a tendency to rub people the wrong way. And I'm exactly the same way. If you know me in real life, you know I can rub people the wrong way and I don't care. And I like Chris because he doesn't give a damn either. And so with the BetterHelp thing, I made a video about it before. This BetterHelp thing, people are saying he's not good because he promotes BetterHelp. I promote BetterHelp because I actually use the service and it's actually literally changed my life. I really could care less that Philip DeFranco and friends make $1,000 per post from BetterHelp. I really don't care that their terms of services or whatever were incomplete. And whoop-de-doo, guess what? They updated all that stuff that people were giving them feedback on. They updated it, which is what normal companies do. Every company has been through a scandal, took the feedback, and changed it. You know, Nike right now is going through something because the bottom of the shoe says Allah, and apparently they've had that type of scandal before. They took that commentary and they changed the company. It, like a company making a wording mistake like that doesn't warrant demonizing everybody who likes that company forevermore. That's stupid. So obviously he promotes BetterHelp because he thinks it's a good service. His girlfriend uses it. I promote BetterHelp because I use it. It's an amazing service that's helped me and provided affordable therapy. Because you're not, in my area where I live, you're not gonna find something cheaper than BetterHelp unless you're literally homeless. And then you can get a free therapist once a month. Right? So obviously BetterHelp is a service that some people would like to use. And if it wasn't for Chris, I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have taken BetterHelp seriously to try it out, because there's other services like BetterHelp that suck. Okay, like Talkspace and 7 Cups. Like, those services suck. So when I heard about BetterHelp, I was like, I'm not going to do that again. But because of Chris, I gave it a shot and it changed my life. So the BetterHelp thing, if people are butthurt about the BetterHelp thing, you probably are also a flat earther. You're probably one of those people that just need a conspiracy theory to believe in, and there's nothing I can say to change your mind, whatever. But as for the people who are upset that he's giving advice, mental health advice, when he's not a licensed therapist, let me ask you this. If a friend came to you and they were going through an issue, they said, hey man, I've been feeling really low and I don't think how I feel is normal. Or they say, hey, you know, my boyfriend did XYZ. Does your boyfriend do that? Right? If you have a friend that comes to you with an issue, do you not give them your opinion because you're not a licensed therapist? Like, if your friend tells you, hey, I have a headache, what do you do for your headache? Do you say, sorry, I can't tell you what I do for my headache because I'm not a medical doctor? Like, the arguments that y'all are making, just listen to yourselves. It doesn't make sense. Like, there's nothing wrong with somebody sharing their 2 cents on, on what signs may indicate that you need to go seek professional help. There's nothing wrong with that. That's something that people should do more of, and so people are saying that he's kind of bullying these YouTubers, and I disagree with that. If you're going to put your personal life on public display, I don't see why anyone would expect that what you put on public display won't be judged or viewed or analyzed or talked about. If you don't want it talked about, don't put it out there. You know what I'm saying? So if you're going to show the dysfunction that's in your romantic relationship, it makes sense that people are going to comment on how they think your relationship is dysfunctional. And I think it's a great idea that he would say, hey, here's somebody who's really popular in a relationship that looks dysfunctional. There's probably other people whose relationship looks like this. I can use them as an example to help those people see that their relationship needs help. That's what Chris is doing. I think it's awesome. And I kind of like it just doesn't make sense to people who are saying that's not a good thing. And as for, hey baby, come on. Oh, you're such a cutie. And for the people who are upset that he earns a living online, like he gets ad revenue, he has books, he has e-courses. I don't know, like, I'm hoping you don't live in America, because that's just kind of how America works. If somebody is providing value that people like, right? Like Tomi Lahren she's not a politician, but she makes money talking about politics, right? Like there's many people, like Dr. Phil is not an eating disorder psychologist, but he made money airing an episode on a girl with eating disorders. You know what I'm saying? Like this is America. People, if you have an opinion people want to hear, you can make money from it. Like Cardi B has nothing to do with politics, and yet the Democrats want to retweet her. This is not a crazy concept. I would love somebody to leave me a comment and explain to me how the criticism makes sense. And people who are criticizing him because he's not a licensed therapist, let me tell you, I do not care what grade level in psychology you are. I don't care if you're a senior psychology major. That doesn't mean crap unless you've actually worked in a professional psychology field or interned. You don't know jack crap. Like literally, I didn't take a psychology class and I passed the AP psychology exam. Like psychology, like to say you're a psychology major is a joke. Like that's a joke. Like, let's be real. If somebody tells you they're a psychology major, you just automatically assume they don't know what they're trying to do in their life. Like legit. Unless they say, oh yeah, I'm getting my master's as well. Or I'm getting my PhD. Okay, then you legit care about psychology. But everybody else is like, okay, and you're going to get a job doing what? So psychology major doesn't mean anything. But when you work in the psychology field, you learn a lot. And so I have experience working in mental health, in a hospital facility, eating disorder facility, addiction facility, mental, people who are developmentally slow, those type of facilities. So I have a large experience working with different realms of mental health as a health professional. I am a health professional. And when you work, especially with the eating disorder and addictions, you have a bullshit radar that goes off like crazy. Like you can smell people's crap a mile away. And that's what Chris has. So Chris he's not naive. He doesn't take things at face value. Like he has enough experience to say, that doesn't look right. And that's what his videos are about, because not a lot of people have that experience. Not a lot of people think the way he does. And there are people who value his opinion because of his experience and the way he thinks. That's the whole point of having YouTube. That's why YouTube exists, for people to share their experiences and their thoughts and their opinions, and people to discuss them. So yeah, I think you guys are just making drama out of thin air, and you are, hey baby, you are helping Chris to gain in popularity. And so when that Primik guy made his video, the first thing I did was I messaged Chris on Facebook and I said, Chris, you're famous. You have haters. When you got haters, you know you're doing something right. Listen, it's a Cardi B situation. It's a Cardi B situation where she accepts that award and she's like, I want to give a special thank you to my haters, because even though y'all talk crap about me in the media, you still download my music and it benefits me. It's the same exact thing. You guys are still benefiting Chris. So keep talking about him. I'm happy to add fodder to the drama and get more eyes on Chris and more views for Chris, because he's doing the damn thing. I support what he's doing. I love it. And if you disagree, I would love to know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks. That's all. Bye.